Good afternoon. Welcome to April 20th meeting of the Rotary Club of Milledgeville. Please stand, silence your cell phones, and Stephanie Johnson is our Rotarian of the day. Sorry, as she's eating her ice cream.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to gather here with fellow Rotarians with like minds and goals in common. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community and serve our country. Lord, we thank you for those who are in harm's way. Pray that you would bless them. Lord, thank you for this food. May it bless our bodies and our bodies best for this pray. Oh, wait. Oh.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good test. Things we think may or do. First,
Second is the fair law concerned.
third,
Will be with us.
fourth,
Will be beneficial to all concerned.
Is it fun? Wow, that's the best answer y'all have ever given. Oh, okay. All right. Greg, are we ready with guests and raffle?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Bring it.
Okay, we've got a couple of guests today. Karen Brooks, would you like to introduce your guest?
Join us here. He's in real estate in Wilkinson County, so we're happy to have Christopher. He, for those that remember Julie Cook years ago being in Rotary, this is her son Christopher. He used to come when he was a little boy.
One that you can get.
So y'all will probably
Okay, now for the drawing, the pot is up to, I think, $1,000. We've only got 17 tickets. So we can have one. I'm going to catch one who's not. Okay, ticket ending in 482.
You guys check my, hey, Tom, never mind. Competition going.
All right. Between the hearts.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
We got the ace of spades.
Right. There are only 16 cards left. So if you're not buying a ticket every week, you're nuts. Those are some pretty good odds, people. Let's see. William is not here today. Has anyone talked to Jimmy Eubanks lately? Slowly but surely getting there. That's awesome to hear. For those of you who have not heard, former Rotarian Ed Hall, his funeral is tomorrow at the First Methodist Church at 2 p.m. Rotarians are honorary pallbearers. We'll have our own section at the funeral. So I encourage you to attend that if you can. And it also counts as a makeup for you. Ed was a phenomenal Rotarian, and I think we should honor him with a good crowd. All right. Any other prayer concerns? Nothing? Okay. Community announcements. Plant sale starts tomorrow. at Lockerly. Laura,
I got a few things.
bring it.
So it's Earth Day week, and we have so many opportunities for y'all to get dirty, pick up trash, and beautify our own community. And it's not just KBB, it's Georgia College, GMC, Lake Sinclair, Little River Park, Sinclair Marina, Lockerly,
Mhm.
the Greenway, Central State Hospital. So there's a list on this little page, and go to our Facebook page. There's been another, I think cleanup added over on the south side. When I find out the details. Anyway, just try to help. If you wear your shirt, or just if you come and help with anything, take a picture, I'll take a picture, and you get a makeup for helping with any of these cleanups. And Erin wants you to wear your shirt. Rotary work, right?
Rotarians at work.
Rotarians. So,
And if you don't have your t-shirt yet, you can swing by Erin's office and pick it up.
but you don't have to wear a t-shirt to get makeup. So. Thanks.
Nice, thank you, Laura. Other community announcements? No? Okay. Rotary announcements. You have on your table signups for the Macon Bacon game that will be on June 17th at 7 p.m. It is $17 per person, and we will pay for yours up front just to keep it clean, and then you'll be sent an invoice with your regular quarterly dues for your $17 after the fact. Anyone under 2 years old is free. I guess I think anybody, if they can walk, they can eat, and they're gonna eat a lot of bacon and burgers and all that jazz. So the cutoff there is 2 years old. But we've got some time on that, so we'll keep putting out the sign up sheets over the next month.
Okay, the same day as the Macon Bacon is the district assembly. So you need, it's great training. It really kind of energizes you about Rotary. So I recommend if you haven't been in any Rotary training or event outside of the club, to go to that. New board members, I'd really love for y'all to go to that because there are training opportunities there. It's from probably 8 to 3-ish in Dublin. It's not too far away. You get makeup for that as well. And so we have to have at least one person there to get our grant next year for Jill's books.
Yep. Good deal. Thank you. All right. Yeah, Eric.
I just real quickly, I'm trying to keep name tags for folks
Oh.
as they come, but I don't know if there's anybody that hasn't just started recently with name tag, or if you have a name tag that's going or anything like that. Just come up or send me an email and let me know how.
Good deal. Thank you, Eric. Let's see. Good, Eric's here. So we received a request for a donation for the annual Boy Scout dinner. The board chose not to make the donation because we did recently support Boy Scouts in another way. However, I did want to make sure I put it out to all Rotarians. If you are interested in going to the fish fry for the Boy Scouts, it's $100 a ticket. Do you want to say anything?
There's an expectation of, yeah. More would be appreciated, trying to fill a table, in the main seat of the table, so, you know, if business wanted to buy a table, put down $800 or more, ratio, five, 4, and Adams Acres starts at 5:30. Right Banks Junior, who was Eagle Scout and also the Deputy Attorney General for the state of Georgia. Have y'all let me know, or you call the district office of your motion.
Cool. Thank you, Merritt. And last week, our speaker were representatives from the community garden in Harrisburg, and the board voted to make a donation to them. And we're actually going to do the check presentation. Remember, she talked about how they meet every Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Collins P. Lee Center. We're actually going to do the presentation, the check presentation to them at their regular meeting next Tuesday at 11. So if any of you can come, that will be great. Erin has gotten us one of those really fantastic, great big checks that photographs really well. So it's going to make a great photo op for us and be great PR for us. So any questions on board meeting decisions? No? All right. Okay. Well, y'all get to listen to me for a little longer because I'm the speaker today. I will call your attention to a piece of paper on the tables, and I have extra copies here if anybody needs them. I had something. Okay. Cool. All right, so you will remember that a couple of months ago at a club assembly, we started working on strategic planning. And we went through that day and did a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats as they relate to our club here on the local level. So this is my notes, the recap from those conversations that day. And a group of very dedicated volunteers, Bobby, William, Keith, me, Erin, Laura, we sat down and we tried to boil all of this information down into something that was more manageable that we could work with. The last piece of the SWOT analysis that we ran out of time that day and we didn't get to was taking that information and using it to create a new vision statement for the club. So we took that on as well, and we came up with a new vision statement for the club, in that the Rotary Club of Milledgeville strives to be a service-oriented club with a membership that is dedicated to making a positive impact. It's very much in line with Rotary International's vision statement, and is broad enough to give us goals and not hem us in too much as far as what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish in our community. So we then took the rest of the analysis to create some strategic priorities. The strategic priorities are what are on your table. And it's a front and back, so flip it over. The environmentalist in me wouldn't let me print 2 pages. So I'd like to step through those priorities with you. And as we do that, I want you to think about which of these light a fire in you and where you think you might like to engage and participate. So strategic priority number 1 is to encourage diversity at all levels of the club. Our goals are to find 3 members from underrepresented classifications and 3 members from underrepresented racial groups. Now, for some of our newer Rotarians, you may not understand that Rotary has a classification system. It's how we strive to make sure that we are covering all areas of our community. So classifications may be bankers, insurance, higher education, nonprofit. And then you can, people are always like, oh, well, we've got too many people here from Georgia College representing Georgia College. They all represent different areas of Georgia College. They're not all just administrative or from one office at Georgia College. So the classification system is more of a guideline than a strict rule, but it does kind of help us think about what skills we need in the club. So you will see that Kristen has been named chair of that committee. What we have done is we have taken Erin's incoming board members, and those board members are going to be basically the chairperson, the point person for each of these strategic priorities. Since my term is going to be up here in a couple of months, it felt odd to tack that on to existing board members when a lot of them are going to be changing out in the next couple of months, because none of these things are items that we're expecting to accomplish in the next couple of months. And we have not yet set timelines on these. It's sort of a moving target, and some may be accomplished in a year. Some may take us a couple of years. We're just going to have to see. All right. Any questions about priority one?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is there can never be enough to the job.
Noted. Okay. Oh, yeah, the same thing with GMC too. And usually this table is packed with GMC guys. So, okay. All right. Strategic priority 2 is to develop an annual budget, policies, and procedures. Or procedures. I misspelled that. Whoopsie. Okay. So as we all know, COVID was hard on our club. We lost a lot of continuity and a lot of organizational knowledge in how we handle things, how we process, how we go from one year and one presidency to the next. So we're going to try to get some of that back. And that's going to be a big one. I'm really going to be looking to the people who have been in the club for many, many years to help us with this one. So we are going to go back to creating an annual budget. So the incoming president knows exactly how much money we have to pay the club every month and break it down, how much money they have to give for donations every month. But just so there are some guidelines there. We're going to review the bylaws and our constitution and make recommendations for changes and updates. There's a lot of outdated information in there and some policies that have been changed over the years, and the board voted on them and they've been approved, but the bylaws never got changed. So it's housekeeping. We need to centralize our documentation. The minutes that Joe Peters took when he was secretary are not in the same location as the minutes that Eric is taking now at board meetings. So we're trying to centralize all of these documents in one place. And a lot of that can be done in DACDB, which is the Rotary database. And Aaron is going to be working on making sure that all of us have access to DACDB. As a Rotarian, you have access to DACDB. You don't have to be a board member. And there's a lot of opportunity in DACDB that we are underutilizing. So we're going to try to use it as a place to centralize our documentation. Also, we are going to create actual job descriptions for board members and create a resource guide so that, the next incoming president doesn't stand here and go, what do I do? What am I doing? What day is it? Why am I here? So I really liked, Bobby was telling us in one of these meetings how when he was doing service projects, he had an entire binder of all the projects and what was needed for every single project. And we're not exactly sure what happened to that binder over the years, but I'd really like to find it. And even if we have to start and create it from scratch again, it's organizational knowledge that we need so that we can pass it on and keep doing great things in our communities. Because there is a significant financial piece to this priority, Dawn Adams is going to be coming in as treasurer, and she will be the chair for that one. Any questions about priority 2? Okay. And y'all are being oddly quiet today. It's freaking me out.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, sir.
30 years ago, I created a road scrap. If anybody have
It is, to my knowledge,
Bobby's notebook, y'all look.
yeah, to my knowledge, that is in the archives at Georgia College. Is that correct, Halsey? Is that the same thing that you told me about?
Well, I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It was a scrapbook out of redwood, hang it up with all the white and gold and stuff like that.
No, different thing. Okay.
Somebody's got it in their house.
Okay. Apparently, Halsey let me know that apparently we do have in the special collections archives at Georgia College, there is a whole section of Rotary, local Rotary Club information. I have yet to see it. Nancy Bray's trying to dig it out for me. So yeah, who knows? Maybe it did wind up in there. I don't know. So good point. Okay, priority number 3, improve our image, both internally and externally. These are very specific. Rotary International has very specific goals when it comes to the image of clubs at a local level. So you'll see a note there that when Erin becomes president, she will have to log in and she will have a list of goals that Rotary International has set for her. Sets them for every president. I've got the same ones right now. And so we're going to wait, and this committee is going to be working on those goals under Erin's, well, it's going to have to be a tag team between Michelle and Erin, working together on those goals. But those are all going to be based on Rotary International goals, and there's a lot of them.
And part of that is taking pictures when you're doing things, and that's why it's so important. Like if you go help out on this, please take pictures and get it to Laura or me or Michelle, so that we show what we're doing in the community.
Yeah. So Michelle will be taking over PR in July, so she's going to be the chair there. So, but yeah, so this is why it's important to get your t-shirts from Erin, because the photos are great, but they're even better if you're wearing your Rotary shirt. So, all right, questions? No. Okay. All right. Number 4, impact fund. So we've spent a fair amount of time this year talking about all the money we saved during COVID. So we have a nice little savings we're sitting on, and let's try to get those funds out into the community. And we've done a great job this year. We've given away over $20,000 into the community, right? And thank you all for going out, reaching into the community and making suggestions and requests for those funds. Appreciate that. Moving forward, we've still been grappling with this idea of one big project that we can stamp our name on and say, yes, that was Rotary. Rotary did this big thing for our community. And we've been struggling with this question all year long, and we just haven't, nothing's galvanized. So, but we don't want the conversation to die. So we will be creating an impact fund. This goal is like this, and it's exactly what it's a committee to figure out how we can make donations that will have the biggest impact in our community. Lynn Chandler is coming in as foundation's chair. So for that reason, he will be the chair of this committee for the impact fund. We want to first create the fund, figure out, is it going to be X% of what we raise from the raffle, or is it just going to be a percentage of what the operating budget is? So they've got to answer all these questions. And then we have to create a committee to administer the funds, whether that means, and when I say administer, they will be making recommendations to the board. So everything will continue to flow through proper channels. And then identifying revenue sources. They're going to answer the questions about, do we keep doing the raffle? Do we want to take on another event to supplement what we make at the raffle? Just asking those questions, and then creating the policies and procedures for that impact fund. Like what we were saying, what's it going to be? Is it going to be a percentage of whatever? So questions about impact fund? Really? Gosh, I figured that was the one that somebody was going to chew on. Really? Yeah, Kristen.
Do we have any projects that we're considering, or we're just still a blank slate?
I'm kind of looking at the committee. Are we comfortable talking about stuff broadly? Yeah. A couple of things have been tossed around. One of the leading topics ideas is a handicap accessible playground. And that's the one that's kind of, it's getting the most traction right now. Another has been around literacy and, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, and trying to figure out if we can implement that program in our community.
Possibly global.
Hmm.
Possibly
A global something, because there is, tremendous global potential with Rotary International to back it. And we could use matching grants through Rotary International to do something big internationally. So, questions? Thoughts?
Just one thought, we were talking over here when we started, and the signs coming into the city, looks like, maybe could use a refresh, and talking, that was a big undertaking initially. And, maybe it is, time for us to, kind of look at that and put the project together, refresh those.
And that has been talked about too. I know, the city is working on something as well, so that's where, and I can't remember who it was, but we're gonna talk to the city and see what they're doing and possibly piggyback. Yeah.
Other comments, questions?
Probably the second, probably president. First foundation. Not search that.
On what it's
First
called?
foundation.
First Foundation?
Same things.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Same concept. All right. Thank you, Merritt. Okay. All right. All right. Last strategic priority is to diversify the number and type of service projects that we do. This will fall under Fred. Fred is taking over for Nerese as chair of the service projects. Erin has set some aggressive goals for herself for this. Jump in.
So one of my goals for next year when I become president is to not be a check writing club, but to get out in the community and do things.
Erin,
I set a goal of one new service project per month. That sounds like a lot, but I really think we're gonna double that and exceed it. And the way I wanna do that is I found out that everybody is passionate about something. And when we were talking about service projects and the strategic planning, Bobby said, I wanna do those coloring books again. And so that's probably a simple idea to do. And we can do that one month. And then somebody else was passionate about something else. You're taking on Keep Milledgeville Ballin' Beautiful. So she's passionate about cleaning up our community. And so I want each of you to think about what you're passionate about and what you want to do. Do you want to go read to the kids at school? Do you want to help Red Cross? Everybody's passionate, so you don't have to participate in every service project. Everybody's not going to be at everything. But we do want participation from the club as a whole. So if there's something you are passionate about, break it up and let's put it out there and get it done, even if it's just 2 or 3 Rotarians doing that. So, and I would love to hear some feedback on it if there's something that is on your mind going, yeah, I would like to do that. So is there anything that kind of comes to the top of your minds as I'm saying this?
Craig?
I just, from a previous club, we did a kind of mile thing.
Yeah.
Where we would go out once a month to a mile of road that was ours that's generally littered. And,
Laura's over for that one.
And we had to arrange the county to pick up the bags.
Well, the city's already said they're gonna pay for the signs. We'll get the county on board to do the same. So we're gonna adopt some roads.
That's great.
And I was more people too. Somebody else give me something we did in the past that you want to do again. If you think it's something we should stop doing, so we have time to do something else, let me know that as well. Kristen?
I just was gonna say that I did go through the process of background check stuff to start reading in schools. And it seems like there's a big need for it, if anybody else is interested, just, you know.
They're reading to the kids,
Yeah.
stop in the highway.
Especially in the highways.
One of the nonprofits in town, Millie Free Fridge, they're always needing people to bring sandwiches and food and stock their refrigerator and drink water and stuff. And it's located,
Kathy's
South
tax
Wilkerson
services.
Street, Kathy's.
Tax services.
Tax services. So maybe people that are interested in big people are putting stuff together could do that one month and go stock the fridge.
Didn't we allocate money for that?
We
did.
have been doing that. We're doing it for 6 whole months. So Greg has been stocking the fridge.
Oh, well,
But that is something that,
but people can compare that together, yeah.
yeah. How about veterans? Anybody passionate about helping the veterans? You know, we could have a service project around that. Elderly, the nursing homes, senior living centers. You know, yeah. All right, you gotta give me one.
So, yeah, may I go? Yeah. I think a lot of this work is gonna
He's
come
excited,
in.
yeah. He's excited.
Very excited. Thank you for selecting me. I'm very excited about it. But great discussions, great feedback. I'm looking at these two goals, and we can definitely do more than one a month. We got several in here. And I think we can lump these together. What's perfect about it is I've been doing a lot of reading about the service projects and the different areas of focus, and there's a lot of flexibility in with coming up with projects and tying them to a area of focus. Literacy, and we was discussing that over here as well, but you brought it up. Literacy is one that I think we can definitely tie into multiple areas, even vocational, with our vocational experience and just providing that what we know, our knowledge, to younger generation, or the generation like myself that's in the current workforce and that's still in searching for that development, right? So lot of things we can do. I also wanted to say that, you know, I want, and I talked to you about this, Aaron. I'm gonna be honest with you, when you come down to service projects, it's like and I promise I'm not saying this, you know, without humility, my wallet goes longer than the time I have available, right? I can donate money, but when it comes down to the time, I often have a lot of other responsibilities that I have to tend to. In saying that, I've been doing research, and Rotary has something called a community core. I think we talked about this a little bit. And it's a community core, it's instituted by the club, and maybe I'm getting talking out, but if we can do something like that, what it would do is develop a core of people maybe that we know that may be able to serve on a project, such as going to the Millie Fridge and putting, you know, and doing that, but not be a Rotarian, right? But we'll be on that community core that can provide support for those projects. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I already have a member in mind, okay? My spouse, okay? And she's one that wouldn't have time to be a member, but definitely would be somebody we can say, hey, we have a project and we just need bodies, right? So I don't want that, whatever projects are, please come up with them. I don't want it to be one of those things, I don't want to say this project because I wouldn't have time to participate in it. Bring it forward, think about the community forward, someone that you may know that's, you know, maybe not want to be a Rotarian, but can be part of that core that can sort of lead that, you know, effort for that project. And I think we can sort of make that happen, but we'll definitely have to talk about it, you know, at a board forum to see, so.
One thing I was gonna suggest, talking about your core, is the Interact Club, involving them as well.
If you, benefit from the, Give Center, York College, so they have different hours and so forth. A lot of these students need to get involved in community activities.
GMC, my son is going, he had, you know, that he gets a kudos for so many community hours per year. And so this will be a good pipeline, you know, for him to do that. So I think that's something we could definitely talk about, but I know for myself, it's hard to be at, you know, everything, but you want to be a part of it. And if you can encourage somebody, you know, that you know, who can show up, you know, I think that's putting it, you know, more than just the money where your mouth is.
Yeah. And again, everybody doesn't have to be at everything, but if there's a group, if this table is passionate about X, they can do a service project without everybody else having to show up, you know, because I want groups of people doing what they're passionate about.
Thing we were functional partnership. River Life. That's a big project.
Yeah.
Maybe too big to road. But for a partnership, and we would be a part of some other group activities like.
Yeah.
GMC, so all those kids up there, were private. They were certainly gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and that is a suggestion, is to pair with other civic organizations.
Yeah, to have a broader impact. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, okay, so that gets us through our 5 strategic priorities, and I know we're bumping up on time here. I know I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I am going to actually call for a vote of approval on these votes, because this is not my strategic plan, this is yours, and I want you to own it. So I'm calling for a vote of approval of the strategic priorities. All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? All right, thank you, I appreciate that. Before you leave today, please put your name down on one of these priorities and let's take some ownership for this so that we can really hit the ground running on this. Even though we framed them a lot for Erin's year and the years after her, there's no reason why we can't be getting traction and started on this stuff now. So.
Can I make one statement?
Sure.
Okay, next week is conference, y'all know that, right?
No, we hadn't heard anything about that, Erin.
If you're going to conference, have questions about what to wear, when to write, whatever, stay after, talk to me. And if you want to donate old tennis shoes for that service project, don't bring them next week because we'll be at conference, but you can drop them by my office. And so we're collecting old tennis shoes to refurbish to keep them out of the landfill. That is a service project for conference. And you would need to have them at my office by Wednesday.
Or my office. Yeah.
Or
mine, yeah. Either one. Okay. So our thought for today is from a former Rotary International president. He said, the Rotary way is to light a candle. I light one, you light one, 1.2 million Rotarians light one. Together, we will light up the world. All right, y'all go do great things.
All right, I want you to.
You know,